This season in Survivor Calgary, 3 players returned from Season 2 to captain 3 tribes of newbies, all representing an aspect of the game: brains, brawn, and belligerence. Brawn got off to an early lead, causing the demise of Justine and Bomi, who swore revenge on the Brains tribe while going to the edge. After a swap, the new majority Brains Boss tribe continuously failed to win a challenge, and continuously failed to have a straightforward tribal council, with 5 idols or successful shots in the dark being played within 2 tribal councils, all in an effort to eliminate Sydney and Malone, who exited right before the merge. Meanwhile, others on the ever-victorious Latrans tribe were scheming. Eric, Shervin, Kayla, and Craig formed a 4, while Eric and Shervin double-dipped on it, maintaining a core 4 Brawn alliance and going into the merge themselves with Chelsea and Sydney, who would barely make it out of the Boss tribe. With Bomi's decisive return from the edge and his revenge train leaving the station, the more threatening of the Brains' days were numbered, leading the core 4 of Brawn into a dominant position going into the final 7, as their targets were eliminated, one after the other. It was here that things went off the rails. Shervin, confident that Sydney would win the game if she made it to the end, took his shot at eliminating her, but missed, leading to his own demise in a chaotic vote. From here, the 3 Brawn went against the remaining 3 of Kristen, Craig, and Bomi, but Bomi's fake idol worked against him, as his allies believed he would be safe, being eliminated by the extra vote Sydney secured near the beginning of the merge. Kayla now returns from the edge looking to correct past mistakes in the demerge, where she found an idol but left it behind while going to tribal council, where she was severely outnumbered. Can her endgame redeem this mistake and lead her to victory? Her fellow belligerence member, Craig, has been sowing seeds of friendship and final 2 deals throughout the entire season. Can Trivia Daddy unscramble the complex puzzle of alliances, promises, and cunning countermoves to win this game? Kristen, the last brain remaining, has been playing a possum while establishing one-on-one connections that have kept her in the game. Can she make it there and convince a jury that her subtle posturing and relationship building deserves the win? Sydney seems to have the game on lock if she can make it there, having an incredible story of survival across time after time of being the target. Can she avoid that shot for 3 more eliminations to cross the finish line and secure the title? Eric, an organizer and facilitator of the Brawn Core 4, has established multiple alliances and relationships throughout the season, while also seemingly never having been in danger himself, putting up Sydney and Connell as more obvious threats of his dominant alliance. Can careful planning and threat management lead Eric to victory? Chelsea, another low-key coordinator for the Brawn 4. Chelsea has worked hand-in-hand with Eric to make decisions that they have been executing on the entire game. She is now the connective tissue that neither Eric nor Sydney wants to eliminate from the Brawn 3. But is this enough to convince the jury that she deserves the votes at the end? 6 players remain, and by the end, only 1 will stand as the sole survivor.
End of night 2. One more day to go. I'm proud of how far I've made it. Been some surprises. One of the things, the night before this all started, I had a dream, and my mom was there, actually here at camp, and it was really weird. So I went in feeling like she was there with me, and I saw a lot of butterflies. And in my family, when you see butterflies, it kind of means my mom. So I felt good. But right after I had that dream, I had a little nightmare involving Chucky the doll. But there was like 3 Chuckies. And I was like, all right, there's 3 people I have to watch out for. And it's taken me some time, but now I think, and no disrespect, and I want to be friends with you guys after this. It is just a game, but it's clear to me that Eric, Chelsea, and Sydney are the three that I need to be very scared of. And so I'm going in tomorrow hoping that whoever comes back from the edge, I can work with. Kristen and I can work with. I'm going to fight fucking hard for immunity. This ain't the end for Trivia Daddy. I've got high hopes, so we're going to see what happens.
They told me they both had idols, so they told me that I had to vote with them to gain their trust for next time. So I don't know if Boney. Well, he's gone now, so it doesn't matter if he had one or not.
Yeah.
So I know. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just
it is what it is.
I'd take my shot.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you that I thought they were both going to play idols.
Yeah,
so
it's weird that Boney would tell you that because he never told anyone else that. So I don't know like what his
he told our
motivation would have been.
Like when we split into the fives, he told our five that he had an idol as well, but he had immunity then, so it didn't like super matter. So I don't want you to take this as I want you out. I just was trying to make the play that I thought was going to happen.
Coming back.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I know. I get it, but I wrote your name down and I get it. So,
yeah, no,
so that's fair, but I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah, you could have just told me, like, honestly, just sitting there. You could have.
And you would have preferred that.
I would have preferred that rather than you just like lying in my face.
Tribal just happened. I went back and forth on voting with the bronze for Bomi, voting for Chelsea with Bomi, and Craig decided on trying to take the shot at Chelsea, and I obviously didn't work, so Bomi's out. Honestly didn't really trust the guy. I told both Craig and Bomi to play their idols that Bomi said he had, but I also, like, when he told me that, I wasn't sure because he's never showed it to me. He's never anything, so who knows if he actually had something or not. But he should have fucking played it, because then Chelsea would be out and we'd be down some bronze. So Chelsea's pissed at me, so she says that the trust is broken, so she doesn't trust me anymore. Eric took it really well. I told him on the way to vote that I've got him, so I hopefully have his trust. I worry a Braun comes back in, and even if I'm fourth with you guys, then a Braun comes back in, and I'm then fifth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with you guys. So that was the only motivation.
Yeah, I think for us
is that I wanted to build trust on the other side. So
yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
We felt like you were with us, and then you've kind of betrayed that now. As soon as you got like immunity, it seemed like we got the impression that you were suddenly like on your own, and you were like worried about you and not like the tribe, whereas we've been like trying to find because there's been times where like I've actually like spoken against like even having you voted out, and like you know what I mean, even the last vote was initially going to be for you, right? So it's just
I get if you feel betrayed, so that's cool,
it's just,
and that's okay.
I do, but it's I don't know how things will go now. Like I feel like that trust is probably broken.
Okay.
But maybe it's not. I don't know. I mean,
well,
I guess
you know what?
depends.
I think we really need to just put this down for the night.
Oh,
and
for
not
sure.
think about it, because I really need that, and I'm sure
I do
you do too.
Oh my gosh,
so
it's been too long of a game.
So yeah, I just wanted to have this chat so that I could tell you that, so you're not like stewing. You can stew on this and not just me having.
No. Yeah. So we just finished tribal. There were 6 of us and 3 bronze left. Nobody knew that Sid had an extra vote. And then Kristen won immunity. And she really changed her tune after she won immunity and suddenly became more of like an individual game, although it seems a little odd to me being that it's only like one tribal. So she won immunity, and I was kind of told that she orchestrated the vote against me. She says they orchestrated it against me. Who knows who orchestrated it against me? But anyways, needless to say, Sid saved me with her extra vote. So Bomi is gone. And I guess we'll see what happens now. I think the trust is probably a little bit broken with Kristen. I'm not gonna like talk shit about her, but that I think going forward it's gonna be like a no holds barred.
All right, it's 5:30 in the morning. It's quite beautiful right now. I'm very tired, but there's no point in sleeping in when There might be an idol around. I might also practice some fire making if I can. I just need to find a place to do it. But I'm gonna look through camp and I'm gonna look the tribal council area and maybe go through the woods and see if I can find something.
First thing in the morning, it's if we're going into this, I want you, me, and Craig to be the top 3.
Me too.
I don't mind going to the top with you guys after the fuck around that I had with Ron. Like, yeah, no, I don't care. I want to win. Yeah, I think Sydney first, and then Eric right after. We've already been told. We're told that there's no more immunity idols and that there's no more hidden around. So
There's no more hidden. We were told that.
yeah, I just talked to Cole. He just saw.
Okay, I was gonna go hunting this morning, so.
I know, it was funny because like I did a little walk around to see if I could find something. Then as I was doing that, I found Eric coming up and I was like, are you looking for idols? And he's like, no. I went to the washroom and then was kind of walking around. And I'm like, we're all looking for idols this morning.
So
and then
Eric's up already.
Yeah, but Cole saw both of us. He's like, you guys are looking for things? There's nothing out anymore. And we're like, okay, cool.
So here's my only concern.
Yeah.
I think Eric will win this game. He's made all the moves.
Okay, so him out first?
If he, because what if he wins the immunity of 5? Like, we need,
Yeah.
if he's vulnerable, because it depends who's vulnerable too, right? That would be my preference, but I will do whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to make the case that, I think he's pulled all the strings, and it scares me.
Okay.
None of us will win if he's there.
Alright, fair enough. My thing is to be fair, I don't think Sydney's a huge threat when it comes to competing in the challenges going forward. It's all Eric.
Exactly.
And Eric and Chelsea need to be broken up.
Yeah, but the thing is, I 100% agree with you on Sydney and Eric. That's I was thinking about it last night.
Those two are the top 2 that need to go first.
Yeah.
But okay, Eric first. Alright.
That's my opinion. We could talk about it as a group later, but I wanted to talk to you before we knew about immunity and stuff, so you knew that I was talking to you because I wanted to work with you, not, just because.
No. It's I was wanting to work with you before too.
I know.
When we were doing that vote,
I know.
we had talked. I was ready, Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry about the way you went out too.
Oh, it's all good. Part of the game.
I'm
But
glad you're back.
I'm back now.
Sick. All
We'll
right.
see how it goes.
Final day, Survivor Calgary Season 3. We're going to start off quick because you've already been out here long enough and people just want a hot shower. So, this is ball balance. Each player will be given one of these stands, which they will hold by the grip. And everybody will start with a single ping pong ball, which they will have to balance on their stand. As the game progresses, I will continue to add ping pong balls to every remaining player's stand until there is only one player left. That player wins individual immunity and is safe from the vote. Furthermore, as people may have noticed, we have a sixth player who has rejoined Kip. The winner of the Return Edge Beer Pong Tournament, Kayla, coming back strong. Welcome back to the game.
Thank you. Good to be back.
All right. Individual immunity. All right, get your stands ready. Center your balls. Begin.
Okay, I'm gonna point out right now that the ball sits very nicely in the screw, so I don't think any of us are actually balancing it. It just happens to be in the hole.
Must be nice.
Kristen has some movement, but she is balancing it out. Everyone else, statuesque. Looks good. All of you have been given an additional ping pong ball. I would like you to ready that ball, please. Place that ball now. Kristen is out. No chance at individual movement. Craig is out. No chance at individual movement. Kayla going. No chance at individual immunity. Chelsea, Eric, Sydney, all stable like a rock, with 2 balls on their platforms. I would like you to ready that ball, please. Place that ball. Chelsea eliminated. It is Eric and Sydney, 2 Braun members. Eric with a quick correction, hanging on the edge. And it's over. Sydney wins individual immunity. Congratulations. Safe from the vote once again.
First of all, yay.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh,
So we need back together.
best case scenario.
I know, right? It was getting kind of dicey for you there. Fuck Braun.
Yeah,
I'm done with them.
Yeah,
Like, they're the first ones that I want done.
Yeah.
Cross me over.
we need to
Hell hath no fury, and I am a scorned bitch.
I have Kristen.
Okay,
So
perfect.
right now it's split.
Yes. So I think the 2 most dangerous players right now are either Eric and Sydney. Sydney has immunity, so I think Eric should be the first one to vote.
Can you girls, can you guys do a roll of lines? Say you're gonna vote out Eric and vote out me.
Okay.
Is that like, I mean, and
We
then
can talk to
obviously
Sydney.
don't vote me out.
Yeah, no, I can go talk to Sydney and be like, okay, well,
The 4 of them are together right now. They obviously know you and I are gonna.
yeah, everyone is very aware, but Kristen already, I talked to her earlier, and she's also down to get rid of the bombs. Her and I agree that the 2 most dangerous players right now are Eric and Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney has immunity, then our next shot should be Eric.
It's Eric. You and Kristen, that's 3.
Okay.
They're probably gonna vote for me. If you can persuade one of them.
Mhm.
Because I just don't think I can persuade Eric enough to make it like us photo Chelsea. I just
No.
don't think that.
I don't see Eric turning on Chelsea or Chelsea
I
turning on
thought-
Eric. I think our in is Sydney.
You're ready to break the 3 of us up in an ideal world?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in an ideal world, but you
Yeah.
can't always have your ideal
No,
world,
no, I
and you have to
understand.
adjust
I
along the way.
understand.
But like, in an ideal world, yeah. I know you get the game, so like.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I'm
I'm-
just trying to think through the
It
different
just,
options.
I know there aren't that many options left as part of the
Yeah.
thing here, so.
You know what? I made it this far. If we have to go by chance, I think it's probably gonna be a tie. But the 3 of us need to be solid on Eric.
Okay.
And it should. And if I know that I'm the one that they're going for. Could be you, but
It's gonna be one of us.
it's one of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm gonna chat with Eric. You chat with whoever you can, and we'll have to have a quick brief with Kristen. But she is, I know, down. Go break.
Well, I couldn't look at anything.
I know.
It's all God. It's part of the game.
And just, even the way you were situated in that tribe, like right smack in the middle of the floor mess.
Yeah, I was just like this, whispering, happening around. Alright, so you guys kind of have like the power hold with like the fact that Ron has been kind of taking over.
We're gonna
the game.
vote
So here's the
together.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you get to Final 4, the alliance doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
Because everyone has an equal chance because there will be a competition to earn your way into the final tribal council. So the Final 4, in my view, is the key thing. And we're only 3.
Yeah.
we need one of you, and we want to vote Craig.
Okay.
We don't want to vote you.
Okay.
We would like you, well, like you or Kristen, but like we need a 4.
You guys are preferring that Craig be the vote out.
We are right now.
And it's
Whatever is happening, I will tell you. I don't want to vote you out here, and I think you're their target. So for me, I'm at least likely to try and tie the vote. So if there's that chance that we can pull it off, then I'm down to do that. And then after that, I have to figure out what is gonna work. I don't know, right? Like after that, I'm like, and I might be willing to take it for ops because I just really wish one of us had immunity because that would be like a more % chance that one of them goes. So now it's like, and if it's you, it's basically like between me.
Because you have.
Well, you know what? Eric is gonna win this game, so I do need to be willing to go to rocks to take him out. Yeah.
So how are you? You were sitting in the most comfortable seat right now after that.
I got very lucky. I'm almost certain that I was on the chopping block coming into this. Well, in my head, in my nightmares last night.
Oh my god.
I feel like all of us had some sort of trauma thing going on last night, just laying in our tents, like being
spiraling.
like, what the fuck is gonna happen?
I just know that the three of us, like, okay, my only thing is like, as much as I do like the idea, this is the second time Eric's been like, hey, top 4, I promise.
Like a bit,
Well,
so, he said that to Kristen.
He said that to Kristen, he said that to me before, he said that to Siobhan before you guys turned on Siobhan. This isn't the first time we've all heard the top 4, I promise, I got
He
you.
shouldn't have said that,
No. So my thing is like, I don't trust Eric.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I'm very honest with you.
Yep, that's fair.
If we want to get to top 4, sure, I think he's a bigger threat than anything because he's been a mastermind playing the game so much. He's been the one making decisions for Braun most of the time. Like he's been the one dictating moves.
I don't trust Eric, but I think I could get my name out of there. I'm still gonna vote for Eric. I'm gonna talk to Kayla, Kristen, and it might be Kristen's name that's gonna get, and it might be a tiebreaker. I could still get a tiebreaker, but I'm sticking with my gut that Eric needs to go because we need to get rid of a bronze. There's no way I'm going into the final 5 with 3 bronze members.
My worry is that it's too early. I'm worried about breaking the Braun. That's fair. That's fair, and I know you've been super comfortable with them. But my thing is, like, from what I've been noticing throughout the entire game, is that Chelsea and Eric are inseparable. Those two are each other's ends. If we can split them up somehow, like, we don't have to vote at Eric if you're partial to Eric. Like, whatever. I think it's Like, if we wanted to vote Chelsea instead, that's a power team right there. And the only people that they're being honest with is each other. They already tried 6 times. No offense.
My worry is that, because I have thought of this scenario, if I vote against Eric, which we would have the numbers to do that, I can't do math. It's early in the morning.
We'd have 3 or 4. I'd have to see if I can grab Kristen and talk to her.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Okay.
I don't. Oh, this is messy.
You got Eric.
Well,
if you wanted to do if you're worried about Eric having immunity, vote Chelsea just for the fuck of it.
What if we did Craig this time?
I think Eric's a bigger threat than Craig is, physically for challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Eric lasted a lot longer in the last challenge than Craig did.
So, I fully believe that you probably aren't gonna want to flip on Eric, right?
I'm not gonna want to flip on.
Want to vote for Eric, right? Is there any world in which you would consider that? Because here's my pitch, which I will make. Okay. Really love Eric. I think he's gonna win this game if he doesn't go. And do you want to be? I know you're a very loyal player too, so I'm you might not care, but do you want to be sitting next to that person at the end?
I think that one of the people that is probably going to win this game is actually Sydney. She's probably going to win this game. She's made a couple comebacks.
I don't disagree. So, no, I get that too, but she's just not an option.
Well, I know. But I'm also not, I think, prepared to vote out Eric.
That's fine.
Because to me, I don't feel like he is as big of a threat as like even like Kayla and Sydney. I feel like they're both bigger threats than Eric.
So if we get rid of Eric, who's the biggest physical threat and the biggest mastermind threat, because he's smart as fuck, and he's been the one that's been getting Chelsea on his team for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I know, I'm sorry. So, like, you're trying to go for me, Craig, and I'm trying to get you Eric.
It's like a numbers thing, so it's not really about alliances
If
anymore.
I
My worry is if I ally with you guys for this vote, I'm on the bottom of that figure because I don't know you guys that. Like, I know where I stand with them.
Yeah.
We haven't worked together that much. I don't know Craig at all.
It's okay, but think of it this way: if Eric's offering you top 4 with like him, Chelsea, me, all that changes is that you're top 4 with me, Craig, Kristen. You're still top 4. Your position doesn't change.
Yeah.
You're not the ones we want to get rid of. You know, like you're safe either way, no matter what.
We need Kristen.
You need Kirsten?
Like immediately.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my chair. Go talk to her.
Okay.
Bring chairs, probably.
I don't know if we should say anything.
Don't say anything to Chelsea. No, don't say anything to Chelsea, because she will immediately tell him.
I don't know what to do. This is my fear. I was up all night thinking, like, what do I get? Yeah. I got nothing to say. I'm scared.
Welcome, Kip, to Tribal Council. First challenge of the day, bit of a different one after yesterday's grueling haul for each and every one of you. Craig, how did it feel after a long day of physical challenges, mental challenges? Just be told, all right, balance as long as you can.
It was nice until that second one came on, but it was a good start to the day. But I don't know, like sometimes it's just stressful that like balance is not my forte normally. I kind of wish that we had something more physical. I think it would have lasted a little bit longer.
Kristen, you came into that challenge with immunity, and you left that challenge without it. How important was it for you to win that challenge?
Well, I think we're at final 6, and there's definitely a lot going on here. So, yeah, would love to have that necklace around my neck. But I mean, I hope I'm gonna be okay here. That's all I can really say.
Sydney, it is not your first time with individual immunity. It is not your first time being safe from the vote. How did this power affect the conversation at this point in the game? Do you feel like you have the potential to make a major upset or to secure a victory for long-held friendships and alliances?
Well, yeah, either one of those options, I guess. But I thought that I was going to be going into this challenge, or like the aftermath of the challenge, like I was like running scenarios in my head, like advocating for myself, because I did think that I was going to be on the chopping block. So I guess I didn't have to do that this time around with my teammates, which was good. Yeah, things are getting pretty complicated.
Kayla, how does it feel to come back into the game when the game is getting to its most stressful point yet?
I think it's definitely an interesting point to kind of be dropped back into. I was super grateful and had the amazing win during the beer pong tournament last night, which got me back here and got me back immediately into a council, so it's a great start. But being this close to the end of the game, it's just, it makes it a lot more exciting. It's like, fingertip touches,
Chelsea, you have been through the grind, I feel, for this whole entire time, and every single time you're still there smiling back at me, your name rarely written down. How does that shape the way that you approach Tribal Council? Do you have the same stress that other players have been talking about coming into this?
Oh, for sure. I feel like I do, yeah. Because you just never know, like, what people are thinking, and
So I think, although like I think a lot of people feel that way, like I know that Shervin had a really hard time with tribal councils and his name was never written down until he was voted out. And it's kind of the same idea, like you just really never know what's gonna happen.
Eric, you made a point yesterday that tribal councils just throw your stomach into knots. Today, final 6. 3 brawn members, 2 belligerents, 1 brain. Having a teammate, supposedly, with that necklace, does that make you feel safe? Or is there still that worry in the back of your mind that something could change here?
No, there's definitely a worry. It's final 6. I think we're all here for a reason. We've all played good games, and it's like I said yesterday, we're thinking end game right now. And you want to go to the end game. You want to make sure you have a very clear path to the end game, because once you get down to a certain point, alliances are out the door. It's a matter of if you can win a puzzle or you make a fire or whatever it is. So in my mind, you get to 4 and then you basically tip your hat to your competitors and you see how the chips lay down. So I'm hoping that people see the logic in that, and I'm hoping that I can make it one more day with people that I've been working with to get here.
A little bit of foreshadowing there from Eric, but ultimately we will see where the chips lay. Greg, go ahead and cast your vote.
Oh God, I'm putting my faith in a lot of people. Eric, buddy, you have played an amazing game. You made some shitty moves to some of my alliance members, so unfortunately, this is my opportunity to get you out. And I'm really hoping that happens. And I'm not the one to go.
Hello, hello.
So Eric just ran out of tribal. Possibly to grab an idol or something. But, I don't know. Whatever happens, if it's me, I gotta take my shot taking Eric out of the game because I think he has been pulling the strings and needs to go.
All right, I'll go tally the votes. All right, what do we have in the meeting? Not be 10th then. I'll read the votes. First vote, Eric, but apologetically so. Second vote, Craig. That is 1 vote Eric, 1 vote Craig. Third vote, Kristen. 1 vote Eric, 1 vote Kristen, 1 vote Craig. Fourth vote, Eric. That is 2 votes Eric, 1 vote Kristen, 1 vote Craig. Fifth vote, Eric. Eric, the tribe spoke. Bring me your torch. Well played. Go ahead and join the jury. The rest of you, head on back to camp, get beer.
I mean, I'm disappointed. I thought I had a great overall game, which I assume is why I'm standing here. I don't really know. Sydney wouldn't have voted for me if she didn't think that I was a threat to her. She's a competitor, and I don't blame her for voting me out. I didn't think it was going to be now, but now is when she had the numbers, I guess. I made a mistake voting Shervin out. I went with numbers, and I should have pushed harder, but it wasn't enough time to get it done.
I don't want to see Craig in the final four because he's a puzzler. It scares me. So then I was thinking that this is the move to make also if we wanted to do this as final four. Okay.
Sydney has a great story, so it's a little bit scary, but the thing is, I think I have a great story too. I think Kayla has a great story. I think that there are a lot of stories to be told here, so I just need to figure out how I can build my case against the others. We're talking girls top four right now, but I don't 100% know if I want to do that or not. Craig and I have a lot of trust. He said yesterday we were ride or dies, so probably are. Does that mean I want to go to the end with him? I don't know. So, a lot to think about. Very little time to do so. A lot to happen still.
Camp Tribe, top 5. Individual immunity, back up for grabs. Maybe now, more important than ever. And you will have to earn it. And to exemplify this, I'm going to go sport mode, because that's what all of you are going to have to do for this relay. Starting at this point, you will sprint to that pile of stones where you see hula hoops. That is your marker. You cannot cross that marker in a line. Each of you will pick one of those wonderful jury members. They are your target. You are going to try to throw the hula hoop at them so they can catch it. They can wiggle around, they can do their best to help you, but they can't move their feet. So you're going to have to be good. Once you finish that, all it takes is one hula hoop. Run all the way over. No, you have to get over to these chairs, which are your line for those buckets. Inside those buckets, 3 beanbags. Run and get your beanbags from the bucket. You will then toss from that line of chairs into the bucket. You have to get all 3 beanbags into your bucket. Once you have done that, you will run to this gray table and pick one of the many puzzles arrayed in front of you. Once you solve that puzzle, you're done. The first person to complete this relay wins individual immunity and will be safe from the vote. Guaranteed spot in the top 4. All right? Pretty straightforward. Everybody feeling ready? Yep. Survivors ready? Go! Off they go in a mad dash. One of them grabs their hula hoop. You are past the gold zone. She takes them back. That pile of rocks is your marker, Chelsea. Have to throw from the rocks. Go, Kristen, go! Craig, way off target, not throwing to his member. Kayla's good, go! Sydney's off, has to get her hula hoop. Off target again. You are throwing it one member only. One member only. Let's try. That is off target. 2 members. Bag toss. Oh my God. 3 still trapped. Craig struggling.
Very close one. That one was less close. Chelsea is through! Craig is through!
Craig on his way! The majority of the players are at the second phase of the challenge. Meanwhile, Sydney's struggling to throw her hula hoop. That is already one in. More Kelsey. Craig getting close. The wind is not your friend in this game. Sydney still throwing her hula hoop.
That's good! Sid's through!
Remaining Sydney on her way. Kristen, Chelsea, Kayla, Craig, all working at it. Sydney now in the mix.
Do we have?
Looks good for Kayla. That's in, Kayla. Go to your puzzle. Closer from Craig. Still no beanbags in the bucket. Kayla choosing the ball pyramid. Everyone else still working on the beanbags. Craig getting close, but no cigars yet.
How do you know if it fits? This is weird.
Still working on their beanbags. That's a great throw from Chelsea. She's off. Craig, beanbags left. Kristen still
Like that?
That's a good toss. That's another one. Oh. That fall out of the bucket. Does not count. Sydney is toning in.
Oh. No.
Like that?
Oh, actually, hold on.
Like this?
No. Actually, hold on one second. It's 4 high, sorry. This isn't a pyramid. I'm sorry. That's not the correct answer.
And that's not either? It's 4 high then?
It's 4 high, yeah.
Wait, 4 high?
4 high. 4 high, 4 across. It's 4 every side.
Oh. What?
Why do we keep giving the gay guy all these throwing challenges?
It's in. Go, go, go. Pick your puzzle. Craig has yet to get a single beanbag into his bucket. Kristen is working on her last.
So it's just making a...
Is that that?
That is not right. You'll know it when you see it.
I don't think I will. Thanks, Craig. Oh, fuck.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my fucking god.
Kristen on her way.
That's not it.
Sorry. Well, have you done all of these?
Yes.
Oh, you got it!
Kristen!
That is it!
Kristen! That's equal immunity!
Congratulations!
Oh my god.
Yeah. I understand the wrong person.
Oh, you killed that. Got my hula hoop over Keegan on the first shot. Did beanbag for about an hour and a half. Didn't get all 3 of my beanbags in forever. And then came and did the puzzle really fast. And I won. That feels so good. I looked at the puzzles, hoped that one of those ones would be available when I got there, and like I was first one off to the beanbags, so I hoped that I could be first one off to the puzzles, and I wasn't, but they all seemed to like the ball one, which seems confusing to me. So got one of the ones I wanted and crushed it, and I'm in the final 4. It feels so good. I don't think there's any idols at the final 5. No, because no, there's any I saw just at the expired. Like, cool, so that final 6. So
It looked hard. It was so dead.
I don't think we're gonna win. We don't need to split. You wouldn't have any eggs. Take that puzzle. That's wide enough for that. That's the reason I'm not on brain and that is it. Okay. You don't have to maybe Kristen has to do it. We were all talking about golf power, but when I had the moment to hold it on the side, she says she's still good with us toppers.
Okay. So is Sydney. I think we need to Sydney now.
Sydney's like real strong about wanting to do her girl power. She doesn't want Chelsea to lose because she thinks Chelsea's a loose threat and goes. I'm no longer worried about threats. Sydney or Chelsea? Sydney would have the best comeback story if she did go in front of each other's for anything. And we are going to 4 now. Chelsea. Yeah. So Sydney out.
You have
I
a
feel okay.
full amount of time.
If any of
I feel okay. What do you mean? Okay, so I talked, unless Kayla's playing me, but she would have to tell one of us. Well, I guess she wouldn't have to, but what'd she say? She said, I like the idea of a go-getter. If Craig doesn't want to mean maybe about Craig, then we tell him we're voting Kristen. And she was like, I'll tell Kristen that we're throwing her under the bus to Craig. You tell. This is what she said to me. And then she said, you tell Chelsea that we're voting Craig. Yeah. Okay. So,
That is the correct
I don't know, I'll be surprised if she does that, but maybe.
It'll be me. It's not gonna be you. If they backstab,
Yeah,
it'll be
probably
me.
right.
Yeah.
Can I try that?
Yeah, I want to try.
Okay, so I'm assuming I'm probably on the chopping block.
I'm assuming that I'm on the chopping block. I'm assuming you guys are saying my name.
I mean,
Your name has been said.
yeah, I think.
But I know that.
I think you and I are the obvious choices. You are such a strong competitor.
Everyone's worried about your puzzling game.
If I
The
even make it
Sudoku
to
bit.
it.
The Sudoku.
Yeah.
It struck fear into our hearts.
That's fair.
So, Sydney and Craig are the targets here. I am in the middle here, so this is my decision, and there might be a different opinion, like within the jury.
So you guys are saying it's girl power?
We're saying it's girl power. What did Taylor say to you?
Sydney.
For sure.
Because this is our only chance, because she could win the next one. And again, if we're in the final three with Chelsea, one of us can win. Like,
I think so too.
I think so. So
I think Sydney is the biggest threat in the game right now.
And then I think final four, we just we'll see what happens. I'm taking you to the final three with me. Ideally, you take Kayla. But we'll kind of see what happens if, yeah, we're going. So yeah, I mean, obviously I have nothing else, but I think the only way you guys can, Sydney has to go. She's gonna win. Okay? Kayla's down for it. We only need 3.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to Kayla and just review, but
I'm assuming I'm getting the votes from them. That's totally understandable.
Yeah, I assume so. They're not gonna vote for each other.
I want to talk to Kristen one-on-one and see if I can read her at all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going in being like, this is not looking so good.
I got nothing, man. I'm paranoid. And I just see you guys chatting, I'm like, I'm out.
I mean, you're my biggest threat. I think if you and I are in the finals, it could go to either one of us. I think everybody knows that. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, they're just gonna pick one of us. They're gonna be like, who's the biggest threat?
Because really when it comes down to the final four, it's like, it doesn't really matter. It's all bets off, like. Especially, like, because that all depends on who wins the idol. So, like.
Yeah, final four, there's no voting. You play a game, and you get in final meet idol, and then the other 2 people go to finals.
Okay.
So this is our last vote. I believe. I'm not sure. It could be different.
I don't know.
I don't know how to do it.
I don't know. Where are we playing?
Where am I?
Professor Plum in the library with the candlestick.
All right. Welcome back, Kip Tribe. One more challenge down. 1 to go. Kristen, how do you feel knowing that you have locked in your place, top 4?
So good, honestly. Like, there was definitely a time in this game that I didn't think that reaching the final 4 would be possible. So good. Yeah.
Sydney, similarly to Craig, you struggled with a large portion of this challenge, the ring toss. What was going through your head when everyone else was on either the next portion of the challenge or promptly moving to the puzzle?
I was like, I wish Tom would stop saying, and Sydney, still struggling over there. What's yeah, I don't know. I think the puzzle gave me some confidence, or put me at ease a little bit, because it always comes down to the puzzle a lot of the times, and you never know how long that's going to take, so you just gotta stick with it. Yeah.
Chelsea, after everything was said and done, there's only 5 of you left. Kristen with you. So far, the Braun tribe has been dwindling. How does that make you feel sitting here with 5 people left?
Yeah, pretty vulnerable. Yeah, I think we maybe didn't make always the best decisions for ourselves as the Braun tribe. So yeah, no, we're now kind of the underdogs, the remainder of the Braun tribe members, so just Sid and I. So yeah, we're both pretty vulnerable and exposed, I'd say.
To that point, Kayla, Going into last tribal council, it was very clear for anyone to see that there's 3 bronze and 3 others. With the shakeup that happened and Eric being voted out, how do you feel now, looking in from the outside, saying, hey, I might have the power to make an influential decision here?
It's definitely different. It feels like there's a lot more negotiation and a lot more talking and trying to reevaluate what the structure is, I'd say.
And Craig, what do you think that structure is going to look like? And do you see yourself as a part of it going forward?
I'm very nervous. I mean, I have some connections I've made with people and some trust that I'm putting out there, but I can still clearly see a line right here of 4 very strong, intelligent women and little trivia daddy.
Well, we're about to see exactly what lines have been drawn. Starting with you, Craig. Go cast your vote.
If you make it to the final 3, you definitely deserve to win. That's why I need to see you go now. I need to do what's best for my game. I appreciate you siding with us last vote, but I can't continue.
I feel really bad about this one.
Alright, I'll go tally the votes. Anybody has? Hidden immunity idle. Now be the time to play. Alright, I'll read the votes. First vote, Sydney. Second vote, Sydney. That is 2 votes for Sydney. Third vote, Craig. That is 2 votes for Sydney, 1 vote for Craig. Fourth vote, Craig. That is 2 votes for Craig, 2 votes for Sydney. Next person voted off and joining our jury, Sydney.
I got voted out, and then I cried about it because, yeah, it sucks. I got really into the game, but yeah, I actually don't think there was anything I could do. I made the moves that I thought could possibly get me the farthest. I think that no matter what I had done, I think that I was going to be out during the previous tribal council, but I got immunity. That's the only thing that saved me, and I'm almost 100% certain no matter what I had done, it wouldn't have made a difference, and all of them were gonna try to get me out. So I feel, yeah, I feel good about the game that I played.
Final 4. I'm actually really overwhelmed and very excited. I'm wearing the shirt that says "Oh my," and literally stands for "Out Hustle My Yesterday." I've been doing that all game. I had a dream the night before this all started that my mom was here with me at camp, and she was there rooting for me. Well, kind of get more emotional than I thought, and I feel like she's been there supporting me and stand by me the whole time, and I'm just trying to make her proud, and the rest of the family, but I know Mom's been with me this entire time, and I'm just going to continue to fight till the very end and hopefully make it to that final 3 and then be the sole survivor.
All right, Kip tribe. The last immunity challenge of the game. First things first, Kristen, you have something that belongs to me. Thank you so much. This is it. Your last chance at individual immunity. Guaranteed spot in the top 3 final tribal council. And for our final immunity challenge, we will be revisiting the first challenge of this event. Pyramid of Power, reprised with a few added twists. First and foremost, to start this challenge, each of you will pick 2 members of the jury to hold your slingshot in place for you as you will be shooting. What will you be shooting, you ask? Tennis balls. You'll have to collect your cups by running into the forest to find each individual member of production out there. There will be 6. In order to collect the cup from one of these members of production, you need to answer the question they ask you correctly. You will collect 6 cups to build your pyramid, at which point you will take the tennis balls and your selected team and start shooting. You will be shooting from the backs of these cars to these tables. The first player to topple their pyramid in its entirety wins immunity. So if you get every question right, you can just bounce from station to station to station. If you get a question wrong, you have to come back to this point and then run back out. It is not easy. It is going to be a grind, but that is the challenge. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to get ready, and then we're going to hop right into it. Survivors ready? Go!
Shervin.
First grip.
How many players have been in the Kip tribe? Correct, take a cup.
Who was the first person voted out?
Bobby.
First person voted off. Bomi. Bring me a torch.
Who was the first person voted out? Incorrect. Who was the first person voted out?
It was. Oh shit. Oren?
Incorrect.
Bomi?
You said an incorrect name, I'm sorry.
Oh, Zed.
That's it!
Excuse me, terrible runner. Who was the last person voted out before the merge? Oh.
Oh, there's another one. Hi. Oh, fuck. Number 1. I was good. Kevin? Check now.
So, starting in position number 1, we have Sydney. Kristen, frantically setting up her pyramid, only 1 cup left. All right, she has to go shoot. You have to get every single one off the table.
And I recover the ball.
You recover the ball. First shot. Very long.
Bomi. Who am I missing? There's 6, right?
Chelsea hustling back. How many cups, Chelsea?
3 and 3, I think.
That's the pyramid for Chelsea. Get your team ready. All right, that's the pyramid. You have to go shoot.
Kristen, you got 3 balls.
Short for Chelsea.
It's right
High
over.
again for Kristen. Wind does not count.
Is it Eric? Oh damn. Oh shit.
Alone. Oh, fuck yes!
You'll have to slide over and shoot from odd angles.
Sorry.
Greg's first shot just off target. Greg's second shot way off target.
Oh, son of a
And
bitch!
the third. Chelsea had.
Woo!
Nice. With a solid hit. 2 cups off the top. Craig. 2 shots in a row. Ground it.
Oh!
With 2 cups left on the table.
Wait, what?
Oh, shit.
Off the table.
It's who they thought was the strongest player by and that was like, and that was in the top ranking, like the out of 10 players, I think. Yeah, that's what that was from. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Chelsea? No. I gave you the 2 other people that were strongest in my team. I'm like, I don't know.
Woo! Great shot. Great shot.
Oh!
After the merge, yeah, when we were all lined up in 10, I've named everyone on my team, including myself. I know it's not, but I've named everyone else in the 10. One person. Jordan, Eric, Chelsea, and myself. Those are the 5 people on the team. I've named them all. This is after the merge, so I know, this is when we were all one and they lined us up in a row. I'm not in this competition, I don't know. That's it, I'm sorry.
Oh.
They should be tracking this.
Greg, by the...
With the bounce shot! Individual immunity!
Holy shit!
Craig, congratulations, you earned a spot in the final tribal council.
Holy shit! Oh. I have won the final immunity. I'm going to the final 3. This is mind-boggling. I'm very proud of myself right now. Oh my god, this is like gonna be the second time I've cried in the past like hour. I didn't know if I could actually do it. And I'm so proud.
All right. Kip. All over now. Tribe of 12, tribe of 4, now very much down to the individual. Craig, you have the choice of who to send to make fire. You can choose yourself, but you don't have to. One person you will be taking guaranteed with you, final tribal council, top 3 finish.
This is the hardest, but in the end I have to stick with my belligerents and take Taylor with me.
Each of you can take a seat and watch. This is no longer for you. Chelsea, Kristen, step a little closer and pick your station. Driver's ready. Go.
Chelsea getting some magnesium off the back, making the already flammable pad even more likely to catch. It has more of a base to allow for growth. Chelsea starting to strike at her small fuel. It's getting a few sparks. Going back to grounding away from magnesium. Chelsea has the beginnings of a fire. The question is will the base catch? It looks like at this point it is beginning to do so. How is she going to keep it alive is the next question. Kristen is still Chelsea. That fire is alive on the well. Now how does she build it up to burn the core? Kristen is still striking magnesium onto her fire itself. It needs to get much higher if it's going to burn that cord. And it looks like it is going strong. Kristen has the makings of a fire herself now. We are in a tight race. Can she keep it alive? Kristen getting a few good strikes, trying to keep that fire alive. Chelsea confidently adding more pieces to the fire, trying to build it up higher. It needs to be much bigger if it's going to burn that cord. Chelsea trying to figure out just exactly how she's going to get that fire up to the core. I think she's found the way. Building a support structure, burning the inside. Now the question is what more fuel is she going to add? Almost knocking over her board itself in the process. Chelsea may have figured out a way to get this dry wood incorporated and really start the blaze. It's beginning to catch. That fire is growing in size very quickly with all the fuel that is now being added to it. If this fire continues to grow, so do the hopes of Kristen shrink of getting into the final tribal council. It's looking up towards
any opportunity for Kristen drifting away with the smoke.
If the fire consumes the entire setup, I think we call that a double. Okay. But it looks like the rope might give out before the wood does. Catch for Kristen. The rope is on fire. Very much so, in fact. The cord. Just hanging on.
Damn it!
Oh, you could almost see through it.
I know.
And just like that, Chelsea earns her spot in the final Tribal Council. Survivor Calgary Season 3 has its final 3.
Not really too sure who I'm gonna vote for at the moment. I think everybody played a real garbage game. I don't think anybody deserves to win. I think it should have been me. I think they should bring me back in and let me win.
Coming into this final Tribal Council, how are you feeling?
Pretty sad, honestly. I was really pulling for Kristen, and I've been in that situation before. Fuck. It hurts. It hurts, and I know it hurts for her. Right now, I'm trying to figure out who I want to vote for among those three. Chelsea had a great game leading up until day 3. And I think it kind of fell apart on the bronze a little bit. I need to talk to Sydney a little bit before Final Tribal Council to see who really convinced her to switch over, if she's okay with that conversation. Kayla appears to be part of it at least, and it appears that Craig played a lot of people in terms of final 2 deals very well. It's going to be up in the air for me in terms of how well they articulate their game. Kayla gets a big hit for making it back from the edge in that tribal where she didn't even realize she was in danger until a question from the host. So I'm leaning towards Chelsea and then Craig and then Kayla, but they're all very close together.
So we just finished the fire building challenge. I went up against Kristen and my fire won the challenge. So I'm going to the final 3. I think I'm going to have a really hard time against the jury. I basically stayed with Braun for most of the game, so I'm really gonna play up my loyalty. I tried to vote with them. I think that's gonna have to be my main play because I didn't really make any huge moves I never really needed to. Yeah, so hopefully they like the loyalty aspect of things. That's really the way I'm gonna have to go. I never really swapped tribes very much, and I never even had to play my advantage. So that's where we're at.
In my particular opinion, Chelsea voting for Sydney in that last, voting with Sydney in that last tribal council was odd to me. Because, to me, she still had a social game to play.
I'm leaning towards Kayla and Craig, I think, right now. They just seem to have the hardest time out here compared to Chelsea. It seems like she was laying low, and I haven't heard anything about her individual game yet, so I'm hoping she can kind of convince us and see what she has to say at Final Tribal there.
Yeah, so Chelsea just won in fire making, and I'm really proud of her. I'm not 100% sold that I'm going to vote for her just because I've been working with her the entire time. I'm really just happy she got to the final 3.
If Chelsea can give me a really good explanation on how they played the game and that they were kind of running it from the shadows type of thing, that could swing me. So I kind of want to learn a little bit more about that. I need to think on it on how I'm going to word those questions.
Well, made it to the last day to vote for the winner. I honestly don't really know a lot of what was going behind the scenes. I didn't talk to many people about what was going on the edge, unfortunately. Probably should have taken some more time to do that.
I think you're gonna vote for it. the game was played really well. I will say that this entire time I've been rooting for Craig, Trivia Daddy, with my heart and my entire soul. But I will say that Chelsea has come back, and oh, I have such mad respect for the game she's played. But I think my vote's gonna be for Chelsea. Oh, I feel bad. Oh my God, sorry, Craig.
I think I stand a really good chance to get Chelsea. Kayla, I just hope that people remember that she was voted out. And hopefully that pays in my favor. I think I've got a good chance. I think I've got a really good chance.
All that matters is if Craig voted for me or not. If he didn't, my vote's for Craig. We had a secret final too, so this will shock everybody. And it was going well. I'm pretty sure it was Kristen that organized my demise. So as long as Craig didn't vote for me, I got my vote.
I really like the final three. I think they deserve to be there. I think my vote is between like Craig and Chelsea because I love Kayla, but I think if she'd been in fire making and she had won, she would have had like a story. But I think like maybe Craig taking her there was kind of strategic on Craig's part. And I think that, I don't know what Craig has been doing this whole time. Like, I talked to him for the first time at like 6 p.m. yesterday, but apparently he's been playing a good game.
I am so proud of my two Bellinis, Craig and Kayla, for making it to the final three, and Chelsea for winning the fire making to make it there herself. I think everyone has played such a very confusing but entertaining and excellent game. My vote is so beyond up for grabs, it's unbelievable. I think right now my heart wants Craig. My brain might be leaning towards Chelsea, but any of the three could say something that will swing me completely in the other direction.
For this last one, I don't think I really have a strategy. I haven't exactly been playing with a strategy for much of the game. It's just kind of been winging it and going with the flow. I don't think, you know what, it's gotten me pretty well. It's done me pretty solid, so I think we're gonna continue riding that flow. We're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna play it by ear when it does happen. Come on.
My beautiful Bellinis, they made it. 2 of them. Although I have no fucking clue what any of them did.
You okay?
I'm good.
You're in pain.
No.
Well, we're all in pain.
We're all a little bit in pain right now.
I'm just kind of talking about what I know about Craig's game because, like Sid was saying, she doesn't really know much.
I kind of want to know who convinced you to vote for Eric at the beginning of the day. Like, what was
Kayla
actually...
was the first person to think of that.
And was that what convinced you?
It was, I mean, Kristen as well, but that's not.
As of right now, what I'm doing is I'm waiting to hear what everyone has to say and then make my decision. But right now, I honestly have no clue because the one person I was rooting for just got out. So I guess we'll see.
I would love to see Kayla win as part of kind of my knowing her through the edge and kind of coming back. I think she's had a great kind of player arc as well. She started off very chill, just showing her personal ability and just being a kind person. Obviously, I love that. But really, now that she's back in it, she's really been developing this social skill as well. I've loved to see that.
And I navigated. I think I was like in a better position than she. Like I was like, hey, I got things kind of figured out. So anyway, yeah.
All right, let's.
I don't know if I should.
The speeches. Final tribal council. It's been a long haul this weekend getting here. We have 3 players remaining, and it is up to the jury to decide who wins. The people who you all, either indirectly or directly, voted out. The people who you beat to get here. They're the ones who hold your fate in their hands. And, as tradition demands, we will start with the first. The first question will go to the first person who was voted out. After you make your opening statements.
Made it to top 3. I don't know how to start this. This feels really awkward. It's like very boisterous to be like, the fucking best, I did it, I got this far, vote for me. That feels really weird. But I don't know, like I feel like I deserve to win because I was able to, so good statement, I don't like that. I think I've played the best game because I've been able to create alliances, hold through during really tough negotiations, It was a lot of fun between playing challenges, moments where I did really well, won a couple, got immunity in an unexpected way, and then on top of that, after having been voted out, managed to redeem myself, get myself back in the game with beer pong, and just been riding it, just been going for it, and ultimately doing a lot better than I thought. So helped me get all the way.
I think I deserve to win because I played a game that was very loyal. I stayed pretty true to my tribe for the most part. I didn't win a single immunity challenge, but I still managed to make it here from merge. And yeah, I've just kind of clawed my way to stay in, so.
This has been a very long couple days. I feel like I deserve to be here, and I deserve your vote to win. I was very loyal. I kept my word to one of the first people I made a deal with, and I brought her right to the end with me. I have played a pretty great social game, I'd say. I think, I had a lot of chances to talk with most of you, had some great moments. I made some big moves when it had to be done. I think I played a pretty strong game overall. I won some challenges, and I contributed whenever I could to the tribe's challenges. But yeah, I think I deserve to be here. Clearly, I won that final one, and I think I deserve to win. So please vote Trivia Daddy.
Baomi was the first person voted off.
Why didn't you use your idol on me, Craig?
I didn't use my idol because I was trusting the others that they were voting for me. That's why I used my idol.
Who told you that? Can I ask a follow-up question? Who told you that they were voting for you?
It was clear from the girls what they were saying, and then last minute Kristen was saying like Bowman needs to use his idol, which I thought you had an idol, so that's why I was saying you and I both need to use our idols, because we would have just eliminated our votes. I truly thought I was being voted out. Otherwise, I would have saved that idol for myself for the following tribal council.
Justine.
This is to all three, but what is something no one knows about the game you played?
It's hard to say if no one knows. I did have an advantage that I never ended up playing.
What was the advantage?
It was a 1 out of 2 shot in the dark instead of a 1 out of 6. I don't know about things really people didn't know about. I know I felt really weird sometimes. That it'd be like, especially at the beginning of the game, you'd go and you'd have a conversation with someone, and you'd have basically the exact flipped version of a conversation somewhere else. And you jump to a third conversation, it's a slightly altered conversation, and I definitely had a couple moments where I'm like, I had 5 different conversations, I've been lying through every single one of them. What is happening right now? What am I doing with myself? So I don't know if anybody noticed me having a personal complex with that, feeling like I had multiple personalities going on. That was fun. Otherwise, I did have an immunity idol on the round that I actually got voted out on. It was kind of a large idol, so I couldn't hide it on my person. But Tom made this really cool comment while it was a group of 5, and he was like, "Kayla, how's it feel being the only person in this roster that's not a Braun member?" And I kind of had to stop and look and be like, "Oh, I'm fucked. I didn't plan this out well." So I did have an idol that I could have brought with me to that council, that tribal, and I had pre-existing alliances within that group that I thought would have held out, so I didn't necessarily think to bring it with me, and just bring idols with you. If you have them, use them.
I don't know, I think everything was pretty clear as you've gone on and figured out. I guess the only thing would be that, I was going to take this one to the end, since we were originally in that tribe.
Craig and I had built an alliance within the first day, first couple hours that we realized we were both all belligerents.
We had
And
other
we
great team members, but
stuck with that.
it was always ending up us 2.
We pulled each other through.
Next person up, Greg.
Kayla. Craig has said multiple times that he brought you to the end specifically. Do you feel like you were dragged to the end?
I mean, I don't think drag is the right word, but he did very literally give me immunity with him. That was a really big, like, I protected me, you know? I think throughout the entire game, Craig and I had a lot of going back and forth, helping each other, sharing information. Really, like, I come to him and be like, okay, we're talking about these people, we're talking about you, we're gonna flip it this way, what's your go with people? We both had our own side negotiations happening without those other negotiations really knowing that we had a really solid alliance. So I think it was a lot of us helping each other and just constantly sharing information that was coming to us. Held hands here, you know? Stick along together.
I'm gonna rapid fire. Just quick questions, one for each of you. Chelsea, you opened with, I played loyal to my tribe. There are 2 other tribes here, and you playing loyal meant that a lot of us are sitting here. What would you say to the rest of us who weren't drawn and who got here? Why should we vote for you?
Well, for the most part, I never had an opportunity to play with you.
Not just me, but like...
No, I mean with most of you. When we swapped, I was still with the majority of Braun players, and so I didn't really have a chance to play with a lot of the players here. So really, like, it's hard to kind of speculate how things would have gone. Although even still, like, we were originally swapped together, and we did kind of have an alliance together. So there is that.
Kayla, you said you rode along a lot, but can you name a specific time in a vote or a play you did that you were driving, and that it was your play that made the difference?
I don't know if really I had any driving force for it. I know there was a lot of, I like to call them negotiations, you know? I did a lot of bouncing off other people, feeling what they were feeling before deciding what potential to, like, what if we do this? I do feel like I had a pretty big push when it came to Eric being voted out. I'm so sorry. But we had, like, it was the six of us left, 3 Braun members, and then 3 of us that were very obviously not Braun. So it became like a really big, how do we split them up and how do we get that going? So I think I had a driving force in kind of negotiating with Sydney and kind of changing the gameplay and just, like, changing the mindset about where we were at.
And Craig, I've heard everyone who's come and talked on the bench so far this set, you've played a great social game. Can you give me your one crowning social achievement this game?
My one crowning social, I think that I had several times people come to me saying my name's been tossed around because I have been viewed as a threat. And in the end, I think we're only looking at maybe 4 votes for me throughout the entire time. So I managed to have these connections with people who I was working with, but were in other alliances that wanted me out, that they saw the benefit of keeping me around, and that made me feel really good.
Thank you.
I only really have a question for Craig. So with having alliances and connections to a multitude of people, there obviously, like, there must have been some time when there was conflict and there was some overlap. Can you talk a little bit about those instances and how you worked around them?
Yeah, it was definitely tough because I was forming these connections with people. The toughest one for me, but it was my only opportunity, was with Connell, when I knew that I had to take a shot. I really love Connell, but he was a huge threat, and when we split up into those tribes, I saw my opportunity, and that was my first time really chatting with Kristen, Bomi, and Taylor, and I guess I'm friendly enough and they decided to go with me.
see. I don't really know you that well, but what I do know is you're talking a lot of loyalty. However, weren't you a huge factor in getting Shervin voted off, even though he was a part of the Braun tribe?
That's a really interesting point, because at that point it was when our tribe kind of started to crumble. So I either had to vote with Shervin, who would have been one of our tribe mates, or with the tribe mate who wanted to vote Shervin. So really, like, I had to choose between my own tribe as to who I was going to be loyal to. It wasn't really, like, there weren't a lot of other kind of options being floated to me at that moment. So, yeah, I did still choose loyalty, but it's hard when you're choosing between two people that you feel that you're loyal to.
And then Kayla, I feel like I've talked to you, I heard you talk about it, you're like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. But do you think there's more credit to people who actually put more effort into playing the game strategically rather than the way that you played it?
No. And that's not to say really that it's like against anybody that's playing strategically. I just think sometimes if you're too focused on the board state and what your next move is going to be, you're not paying attention to the moves that are being made around you. And I spent a lot of time just being like, oh, I'm going with it. I'm relaxed, I'm going with the flow. But I spent a lot of time watching everybody around me, like seeing the sub-connections that were being made, and then making my own connections and socializing accordingly. So yeah, I very much played like a low-key kind of relaxed game, but I played socially very relaxed because I wanted to watch everybody else's moves in the meantime.
So you also talked about loyalty, but I've heard at least two other people sitting here that you had a top 2 deal with them, and as well Kayla, which makes it third. So you technically did stay loyal to one of them, but what about loyalty in regards to the other top 2 deals with them?
Yeah, I did have some people approach me and I was willing to work with them. I knew that I had to play all my cards, have everything, all my options, and then I was the last belligerent person and I had some options. And I knew that it was probably going to be final 3, so I knew that I could still work with a couple people. There were different moments in the game, depending on who was still in, that it was clear to me that that's what it was going to be. I don't think I voted out anybody who I did make a deal with for the final 3.
All right. Chelsea, first of all, I don't think anyone has said it. Congratulations on that fire making. That was decisive. That was very impressive. We obviously didn't get the chance to interact.
No.
And a bit of reason for that was your tribe after the swap was incredible in challenges. As a result, you entered the merge with numbers. And you dominated, you steamrolled with those numbers in your alliance at first. Then, as the numbers started dwindling down, the wheels kind of fell off for you. You found yourself on the bottom of a few tribals. What I want to know from you is, what did you do in that time when things flipped on you to preserve your life in the game and get to where you are right now?
I mean, I still stayed close with Sid, kind of at that point. The first time my name was ever on about it was just last night. So I didn't really see that one coming, but Sydney and I stayed relatively close. Again, she was original Braun, and so I was sticking loyal with what I had left in the tribe. And I didn't know how much I could trust the others. Like, I knew that these two were really close. So at that point, I had to kind of float a little bit and just kind of go with what I was told to vote. And there were times where I wasn't really told even much. Like, there were a couple of tribals today where I didn't really even talk with anybody. And it was just, and it was just kind of like, this is the name to put down, and that was what I did. Because I knew I was the underdog at that point, and I just had to do what I could to stay in.
Just super quick follow-up.
Yeah.
Yes or no, did you intend
to sit in the final 3 with Sydney?
Can I say hopefully? I had hoped that would have been great, but I mean, who knew?
Kayla, thank you so much for making it to the final 3, for killing it in that beer pong tournament, and for showing all these jocks and these fucking nerds that belligerence is the #1 tribe in this game.
We know how to pace ourselves for the long haul.
I don't really have a whole lot of questions for you. I got to see a lot of your game early on. I got to see your game inside. I saw your game on the edge. I'm very proud of you for making it where you are.
Oh, thank you.
And Craig, Trivia Daddy, my day 1, final 2. Things didn't work out for us, but again, I'm so proud of you, fellow Bellini, to be where you are, the person who decided what this final 3 was. Your immunity wins were clutch. You dove into that post-swap tribe, the latrines, and you made connections and you solidified yourself in there. And then when things started falling and the votes started flying, you found yourself on the wrong side with this side, on the right side with that side, on the wrong side and the right side. You always made it through though. I just want to know from you, because I've seen your gameplay, I've played with you. There's people here who haven't. What is it that makes it so easy for you to make these connections and to preserve yourself in the game?
Whew. First of all, can you record that and I just have that on loop anytime I'm feeling bad?
It's on.
Okay, good.
We can't have it looped.
I think it's really just finding that balance between game, play, talk, but also jokes and having fun. I've gone through, ooh, God, we got this, we're good. I've gone through a lot of tough times in my life, and humor is always what's got me through it. And I knew coming into this game that I wanted to hopefully make some people laugh and smile. I hope that would take me far, and it evidently has. And I felt like, yeah, I stayed who I was during this, so yeah.
I'm just going to leave it to one question. Kayla, you mentioned that because you weren't focusing so much on the board state that was happening in the tribal grade, a bit more observant. However, I will challenge that, saying you were not observant enough to bring your idol to the tribal council you were eliminated in.
Sure was not.
How can you sort of balance this, saying I was being observant, that was how I got here, with, oh, I didn't notice that the 4 people had a different starting tribal?
Yes. That's a really good point. And I'm sure when we all look back and watch it, there's going to be a very comical moment where Tom pointed it out and you immediately see the oh fuck of like, oh shit, yeah. I think that one of the reasons that I wasn't as observant about that is because by that point, the merge had happened. I was of the mindset that like I had started forming new connections, started having different conversations, building those social interactions. I was like, okay, we're not going to focus on who is in the main group. We're going to focus on what connections we're bringing to the table outside of this. So it's like, I did totally, completely miss that. And it was a very big error on my part. And I did have a solid moment where I was like, as I was going to write down the vote that I had, I was like, you know what? I should just make a fucking dash right now from the voting podium. I should just fucking run for my idol. Kind of sad that I didn't. But I think it was just no longer looking at the board state of individual teams, now looking at the board state of who do I want up top.
Craig, I understand this kind of bringing people to the final 3, and those kind of advantages that it gives you throughout the game. But now once you have somebody like Kayla who you brought to this final 3, she's a great physical competitor. She's been fairly good at the social game as well. She's been on the edge. She's made connections with us too. That's kind of bringing her through with you puts you in kind of a precarious position. Can you explain? Like, are you feeling kind of threatened, or are you just kind of loyal, almost like blindly to this, right?
All of the above. I know I knew that bringing her with me here would be a very risky, ballsy move. Could be splitting votes. It could be giving it all to her. But I did want to show that, like, I didn't want to... I thought about making good television and having one member from each tribe here when we got to that Final Four. I really was like, ooh. But I just, you know, I had to keep that word when we made it that far. If she hadn't made it this far, I don't know who I would have stuck with or chosen. I definitely have some thoughts that would have worked better for me. But in the end, she was there. She played a fierce game, and I felt it was only fair that I kept my word to her and brought her along.
Even if that means that.
Even if that means she could win.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all are the fucking greatest. Whatever. You played better than us. I don't really care. I know you guys are better than me. Whatever. Tactical laws. I want to know where you fucked up. What you did in hindsight is like, other than the idol, because we've already heard about that one. Where did you fuck up? And I was like, goddamn, I really wish I could have just like pressed the rewind button for 5-10 minutes, played it a little bit differently, but you did.
Can I go first?
Yep.
Voting servant out. And yeah, that was not smart for us. So we had the numbers, and I think people started to get kind of nervous. And then I had to choose. Shervin was also nervous, you know, and I had to make a choice about who I was going with. But looking back, I wish that I had somehow convinced that not to happen.
Who would you have voted for if you could go back now?
I'm trying to think through the options. I think we probably would have voted for Kristen. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Really, that was like my one nice big fuck up. I maybe would have paid attention a little bit more to the order of events and specific knowledge things, because that would have been really helpful in one of the previous challenges earlier. Yeah, I just sort of tried to be more mentally aware during the game. Yeah, I did do a lot of socializing, and I did do a lot of belligerent things. So, like, maybe I should have been a little more attentive to things going on, not just like gameplay and people in the game, but like actual game.
Do you think that would have put a bigger target on your back if you had done that?
Probably. Apparently, like the thing that surprises me the most is that, especially in like the ranking game we did, when you had to like write down who you thought everyone would have been, and then we played the whole balloon game. My biggest surprise was the fact that my name came up so often. Like, I didn't realize that I was playing that great of a game. In my head, I was just playing. I'm here for a fun time. Like, I like the people here. I'm definitely going home with some friends that I didn't have coming into this, and that's my big goal. But yeah, just paying attention to like the external things probably would have been a bit more of a target on my back, because maybe I would have been more threatening and a little less loosey-goosey, you know?
Well, I am glad I found you on the edge so you could put my shoulder back in. So
I'm glad. How's it feeling?
Great.
I think mine is probably my fireball idol. I really was just nervous. I didn't want to go out with an idol. I didn't want to go out with having an idol. But yeah, and if I had known exactly truly what was happening, I probably would have either saved it, or I would have probably used it on Bomi, because I was not feeling safe in that final six before Bomi was out and then Kayla came back.
Sounds good. Thank you. Chelsea. Some of us are hearing that you and Eric were quite close and did a lot of collaborating together on some decisions. Can you just name a time where you were full on individual game decisions, like something that was just for yourself, maybe orchestrating something or just getting something going by yourself?
Eric Eric and I did work quite closely together for a lot of the time. But Sydney and I also had some really good conversations about possibly getting to the end together, and how we were going to do that and how like votes would have to go. But sadly, those things didn't pan out. A lot of like just individual decisions. There was always a lot of pride in collaboration. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Chelsea, Malone asked you if you intended to bring Sydney to the top 3 with you. You answered yes. Sydney was strong in challenges. She survived the swap where she was constantly the target of her tribe. She initiated a vote against me. She was voted most likely to win the entire game by the jury. Simply put, Sydney played a strong game, if not one of the strongest games in the entire game. If that was your plan, what makes you believe you could have won with her sitting beside you?
So let me just clarify something. I had said hopefully to Malone, but that had been a little bit later on, like after you were gone, after Eric was gone. Well, no, not even. I had wanted to go to the end with Sydney, but prior to that, I definitely thought, and I mentioned many times, that Sydney was definitely a huge threat, especially after we played the game where we wrote the list, like where I knew she was the strongest player. So at that point, I didn't know that we would actually make it all the way to the end, and I was definitely open-minded to seeing a shift there, which I think we had talked a little bit about. But at that moment, you and I had to make, well, I had to make the choice between the two of you. And so I ended up going with her only because you seemed so nervous and unsure, and it was making me really nervous. And so because of that, I chose Sydney there. But as much as I would hopefully have liked to have had Sydney here like now after, like after the top 5, when we were there back, like when you were still there and we were talking about Sydney leaving, and Sydney was talking about you leaving, at that point I knew Sydney was a huge threat, and I didn't know that it would have been in my best interest to have her in the final 3 with me then. So it really kind of is a little bit fluid in terms of that intent.
Congratulations, guys. We spent all 3 of you I got to spend time with, so quite happy to see all 3 of you together. But there's no one I will be unhappy to see win. I don't think there would have been anybody anyways. But, my question's for Chelsea. We worked together right from the start, and we did work very closely together within the Braun Alliance as well as together. And I really appreciated having you as a partner in that way because we work so well together. And I want you to, if you can, to explain to the jury, I take a different view on how this all works. We can all try and take credit for things, but I don't believe credit can be assigned to people when you're relying on other people to make that happen. So it's a collaborative approach. Can you explain to the jury how you were one of the main drivers of that collaborative approach on our tribe? On our various tribes, and how that was so effective for you.
I do think that there were a lot of times where I would, we would talk, or like any of us would talk, and I was often running in between and connecting people and saying, we need to talk to this person, or this is the vote like that I think would be best. And we would always talk about what was best for the tribe as a whole. But I do think that in some ways, like it was just me moving and like it was a lot of moving parts and me trying to get people to connect in a way and see everybody's point of view, overhear everything, and try to get everybody kind of on the same page together. And that's, I think, part of the reason that we were so strong as a tribe, because we were able to kind of see those different points of view. And I think I was instrumental in that way, just through communication.
Congrats. You did so well. I can ask anything. A lot of stuff has been asked. I have a question for all 3 of you, and then a question just for Craig. Which one would you prefer?
Let's do all 3 of us first.
Okay, can you remind me of your astrological sign?
Aries.
Taurus.
Interesting.
Fab, thank you. And then I have an additional question for Craig, just because I didn't, I think the first time we talked was like 6 p.m. last night. Like, I had not interacted with you at all, so I don't know your game like quite as well, except that you're like a king at Sudoku. That was terrifying. And someone might have already asked you this, forgive me, I think I have heat stroke. Do you, was there a point in the game that you can say maybe you made like a move or you did something bold that like got you to this point? Someone else asked a similar question,
But yeah, no. I mean, when we I knew that I needed to split up the bronze. You know, I wanted to work with several of you, but I couldn't have you all together as we were getting less and less. So when we had that split tribe, I saw my opportunity to get rid of a very strong competitor, and so that was a huge move. I constantly tried to. I knew you were a huge threat. I was very worried about it. I knew if you made it to this final 3, I'd give you your vote even if I was here. So I constantly tried to get the bronze split up, and there was a few times that it was close, but then people got scared and just wasn't sure it was time. And unfortunately, that person usually ended up being the next person out. Yeah, I think that was the turning point in the game when we got into the splits tribes and we realized moves had to be made. We were getting less and less, and that was a big move for me.
Okay, Kayla. Obviously, we didn't really have a chance to work together until the end of the game when we did. I just want your pitch to me as to why I should vote for you.
Specifically, any deals you and I made and any conversations you and I had, I was very blunt, very honest, very direct to the point. I told you anything that was going on in any subcategories in it. Your name was never written down by me. We had deals going on. That's all.
So you think that I value honesty in this game?
I feel like that's a double-edged.
I'm just asking. Sorry, I'll move on.
No, I'm questioning.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Wonderful. That concludes questions from the jury. All that's left is to vote.
Well, we are live, it would seem. So allow me to formally welcome you to what will be the revealing of the final Tribal Council's votes for Survivor Calgary Season 3. You have no idea how long I have personally waited for this, not to mention all of our avid viewers who have been stacking up this entire season. And once again, to harken back to the words of our wonderful production team and Cole, a large part in our growth has happened because of your wonderful personalities, your incredible play, and your drive to become the sole survivor. As a reminder, you have been competing to outwit, outlast, and outdrink everybody here, and it is just down to you 3. Votes have been taken, and now, once again, to remind you what you played for, the Survivor Calgary Season 3 winner's buff and $500 cash to the sole survivor of this season. Would anybody like to share their thoughts going into the reveal of the votes before I crack the urn? I think now would be the best time to do so. We will start with Kayla.
Oh, gee. It's nerve-wracking at this point. I kind of almost wish we were back at Tribal Council so I could at least like hold hands and we could all like share the tension together rather than just sitting in it by ourselves. But yeah, no, that's like the season that we all just played together was absolutely incredible and traumatic and fantastic the whole way through. And I think we all played such amazing games and I couldn't have like, it's amazing when like the best players made the top 3.
And I couldn't agree more. And all of your plays at different parts left people
left people's jaws dropped, flabbergasting in many ways. Incredible. Thank you so much, Kayla. Chelsea, why don't you go next?
Yeah, it's been such an amazing time watching all the episodes back. I don't know, I think we all played a great game. It was so much fun. I was just really happy to be a part of it. Win or lose, however it goes, it was just one of the best experiences, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Very glad to hear that. Are you happy? Or do you share a similar sentiment to Kayla, where it's like, I'd rather be back in the forest with the heat and the sunburn?
Yeah,
and the heat
I mean,
stroke?
yeah, it would be nice to be, all together and doing it that way for sure. But this is a good alternative.
Perfect. Well, I'm personally excited to see where this goes. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Trivia Daddy. I imagine freshly returned from another evening of belligerence, staying true to your nature and your tribe. Ah, there it is. What would you like to say anything before we crack the urn?
This has been one of the coolest experiences of my life. I'm so happy to have done this. Watching it back has been so surreal. And I'm just enjoying the ride. I've had so much fun. To make it to the final three with you two it was just perfect and fantastic. And I can't believe any of it happened. I don't believe it actually happened. I think I might have just been like drunk in the hot sun for 3 days, and I just imagined it all. But there's video proof that it did happen, so I guess it's real. But yeah, I just am so thankful for the experience, and I had an absolute blast. And yeah, this has been like a long year trying to like keep it all secret and wait to find out who won.
Yeah.
Well, a year's worth of tension for all the viewers, a year's worth of anticipation for all of you three has brought us to this point. You now all finally get to see who among you will be crowned sole survivor, as well as our audience. I assume no one has an idol to play, so I'll just go ahead.
Can I?
I think we've gone past that.
Those are still available?
If only. I will go ahead and read the first one. It's not the most glamorizing way to have a picture read. First vote. Craig. Second vote. Craig. That is 2 votes for Craig. Third vote. Craig. Good job. Good vibes. 3 votes for Craig. Fourth vote. Kayla. That is 3 votes for Craig, 1 vote for Kayla. Fifth vote. Kayla. That is 2 votes for Kayla, 3 votes for Craig, 5 votes. Sixth vote. Chelsea. That is 3 Craig, 2 Kayla, 1 Chelsea. Seventh vote. Chelsea. That is 3 Craig, 2 Kayla, 2 Chelsea. Eighth vote. Craig. That is 4 Craig, 2 Kayla, 2 Chelsea. Ninth vote. Chelsea. That is 3 Chelsea, 4 Craig, 2 Kayla. 10th vote. Chelsea. That is 4 for Chelsea, 4 for Craig, 2 for Kayla. 11th vote. Craig. That is 5 Craig, 4 Chelsea, 2 Kayla. 12th vote. Trivia Daddy Craig. We are now up to 6 votes for Craig, 4 votes for Chelsea, 2 votes for Kayla. Craig. That is 7 votes for Craig, 4 votes for Chelsea, 2 votes for Kayla. And by the numbers, there's no other way for anybody else to win. But for the purposes of this, Craig, Trivia Daddy, gets the next vote. And the final vote in the urn, Craig. Congratulations, Craig, Trivia Daddy. You have won $500, the title of Sole Survivor, a kick-ass buff, and gloating rights for a very, very, very long time. Well played. Well played to Chelsea. Well played to Kayla. We've got viewers joining us now to celebrate with all of you. Congratulations to each and every one of you. What a phenomenal showing. What an incredible season. Thank you all.
Oh, congratulations, Craig!
Thank you. Oh my god.
You played such a good game.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I can't believe it. Thank you, Chelsea and Kayla, for just being there for me to the end, and just what we've dealt with. Chelsea, you and I made it right to the end. Kayla, you had to deal with coming back, and you managed to. This is crazy. What?
Congratulations.
Thank you.